Well, hello, folks. I'm back. And I have been pondering and thinking about some things. There's been things sloshing around in my brain. And when things start sloshing around in my brain, it eventually comes out of my mouth. It's kind of like when you have a stomach virus. You know, it sloshes around in your stomach. And it's eventually going to come out. So, now to get this little talk started off, we have all, at one time or another, had to go to a medical facility and have blood drawn or have an IV. I know I have many times. Now, I am going to tell you about some of my experiences. And some of them will make your skin crawl. Now, I am a phlebotomist's nightmare. I am what they call a hard stick. They can't hardly find my veins. They'd be one to come a-working on me. She can't find my veins. She'll poke me a few times, then she'll holler at another and come over here, see if you can find her veins. And honey, she'll try a while, and before you know it, there's a whole phlebota posse around me, trying to find my veins. Now, with that being said, I'm going to get started telling you some of my experiences. Now, there was this one time, I don't remember what was wrong with me, but I had to have some blood drawn. So I go in there and I sit in that chair, and that little girl over there, I see her, she sniffing and snorting, and I see her wipe her back of her, on her back of her hand, wipe her nose. And I'm thinking, oh Lord, there's a sick one. And as she comes over to me and she says, I just can't seem to get rid of this cold at all. And I'm like, oh Lord. So I'm sitting there holding my breath. I'm thinking, why didn't you stay home? They ain't nobody wants your pneumonia or your phlebotomitis or whatever it is you got, honey. Stay at the house when you're sick. Now, you know, sometimes there's these mean supervisors that will tell people to come on into work when they're sick. Now, I got one thing to say to them. Go back to phlebotomy school and let's learn about sanitary practices. You don't need nobody sick poking holes in another person. So, this little girl, she's sniffing and snorting the whole time. She is slapping my arm and poking it and trying to find a vein. Now, if that ain't bad enough, there's another girl over at the other chair. She had just got done sticking somebody, okay? She had one glove on her hand, and one hand was naked. And she had them vials of blood of that other person in her hands. And she was writing all the information on them vials. Now, that girl that was working on me, she hollers at the, that one that's working on that blood. And she says, come over here and see if you can find her veins. Well, she comes over. And I'm thinking, ain't you going to change your gloves? Ain't you going to wash your hands? Of course, I didn't say nothing. Do you think she changed her gloves and washed her hands? No, she didn't. She had handled vials of somebody else's blood. She had just got done sticking somebody else. And now she's a doing this to me, poking around on my arm without changing her glove or washing her hands. And I'm a thinking, oh Lord, here we go again. There's a bunch here needs to go back to school. Now, they finally found my veins. I can't remember how many it took, but they finally found them. Now, I'm a telling you, by the time they get done a poking me, if folks didn't know me better, they would think I was one of them intravenous drug users, 'cause I got bruises all up and down, back of my hands and everywhere. But anyway, I'm going to tell you about another thing that some of these flea bottomists do. Now, there's been times I've went, and maybe the person they'll have both their gloves on. I'm thinking, well, hooray, they decided to put 2 gloves on. Now, honey, I watch them like a hawk. They's over there with them 2 gloves before they come over to me. They's handling doorknobs. They's handling light switches. They's handling cabinets and handles and everything in the room. They's handling with them gloves. Do you think they changed them gloves? No. She comes right over and she starts a-working on my arm, a-poking holes in it with the same gloves that she had handled everything else in that room. Now, folks, there's something wrong with this picture. There's a lot of sickness in this world, and you know, they don't need to be spreading more of it. Now, with all that being said, if there's any doctors out there or administrators that would like me to come and speak on the importance of sanitary practices in the medical facility, just give me a call, honey, and I will try to work you in to my busy schedule. Now, you all have a nice day.